He's Greg McElroy, the SEC Network, former Alabama quarterback. He joins us now. How you doing, Greg?
DP, what's up, buddy? It's great to talk to you. Thanks for having me on, man.
It's good to have you back. Now, how's your arm?
Very mediocre, as it's always been, Dan, as you know. So I guess I've at least maintained the status quo. My brain, I feel like, is sharp right now, though, so that's a good thing going into the season.
But there has to be a point in your mind where you say that I have to get on with my life, or I'm giving up the NFL dream. When do you give up? Have you given up the dream?
I have 100% given up the dream. I gave up the dream after I got sacked 11 times. I realized this might not be the right line of work for me. So I'll be honest with you, Dan. I mean, I realized pretty quickly that my passion was college football. And I appreciate so much having played in the NFL and played in New York and played with Cincinnati for a year and the experiences I had. But college football has always been my passion, so I'm glad to be back working every day towards that.
What happens if Tebow does not make the Eagles roster?
I don't know yet.
Because you took his spot at the SEC Network.
Right now I am. Yes, I am on SEC Nation along with Joe Tess and Marcus Spears and Paul Feinbaum, so I'm excited to have that opportunity. And Tim will always be a welcomed addition here at ESPN. I mean, he is a tremendous asset to every team that he's ever been on, from college to high school to the NFL. So,
wait, are you reading a prepared statement?
No prepared statement,
okay.
DP. Come on, man. You know me. I fly by the seat. I've given you a lot in the past.
Oh, I know. Look. You're probably still getting grief from when you said, what, you were better prepared than Cam Newton going in?
No, absolutely. I still hear that on a daily basis, Dan. Every day I get hit on that. I'll never live that one down. That's on you. And look.
On me?
100%. You asked a great question, and I gave you I gave you the answer that I thought at the time, but I realized very quickly was inaccurate.
That was 4 years ago when you gave that to me.
Golly, that's a long time.
I know. All right, here's a couple things. There's a lot being made of Nick Saban now, his future there. How long does he want to stay? They didn't win. You got to win. Does he enjoy his success?
I think he does very much. I think what he enjoys most, though, is the challenge. And I had a chance to sit down with him this spring and for the first time really spend time with him being away from the game and on a personal level. And he always talks about how he appreciates the challenge of building the team on a daily basis. I mean, and he means it on a daily basis. He's very much focused on today. And in my experiences with him, that's really the way he lives his life. And for most, it's coach speak, but that is genuinely the way he thinks. So I think he is very much at peace right now with the job that he's done. I think he's very much enjoying the opportunity to coach Alabama, and I think they're going to have a really, really good football team. I really do. I think their defense is off the charts. They've done a lot of things in the offseason trying to figure out ways to slow down that's no-huddle, up-tempo attack that we see all over the college football landscape. And I'm anxious to see who he trots out there as a starting quarterback because I think it's a compelling job, and it'll be a very much a scrutinized job over the course of the season. But whoever it is going to be talented based on what I've seen up to this point.
Is Nick Saban the coach at Alabama in 5 years?
It's difficult to say. I think 5 years is a pretty long time for someone.
3 years.
3 years, yes. I'll say yes to 3 years. 5 years, I think that's questionable. At his age, I think he can coach as long as he wants. He's in tremendous shape. And I'll say yes to 5 years as well. I really will.
Is this his last coaching job?
Yes, this is his last coaching job. Had he really entertained another opportunity, I think Texas would have been one of the most compelling, and that clearly wasn't to be. I think he's very much at peace. Miss Terry, his wife, loves Tuscaloosa, and clearly, from a financial standpoint, Tuscaloosa will be able to match any offer that anyone could throw out there.
Even Texas?
I think they could. Yeah, the pockets are deep in around the state of Alabama, and they showed that by shelling out over $7 million a year. I think they'll make they'll certainly make him the highest paid coach, regardless of what happens outside of Tuscaloosa. But I think he's there to stay. I really genuinely believe that he's found a significant level of peace in his life and really has enjoyed the process over the last couple of years of building the team and maintaining the success that he's already created.
He's Greg McElroy making his debut on SEC Nation and be traveling SEC Network football pregame show this Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. He won a national title as the quarterback with Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. You got a sneaky team this year?
You know, a team that I think a lot of people are starting to catch wind of is Arkansas. And when you look at how they finished the year, in the SEC West, they're very dominant at the line of scrimmage offensively. They're very deep on the defensive line. They have a rock-solid linebacker core, and they play good, sound, solid team defense. And offensively, if they can just have a receiver emerge opposite Keon Hatcher, they can be explosive through the air, too. I just think Brandon Allen's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the game. So Arkansas is a team I'm keeping an eye on. If they are able to limit turnovers and replace the injury of the running back Jonathan Williams, then I think they got a real shot to potentially contend in the West and take down two of their more talked-about foes in Alabama and Auburn.
How concerned is the SEC with what other schools are doing? Certainly Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh going into SEC country, that everybody trying to battle the SEC and maybe try to beat the SEC at its own game.
Well, in my experience is talking to a lot of people around the SEC, I don't think they're necessarily concerned with the satellite camps. They just want the same set of rules as everybody else. If Jim Harbaugh or the Big Ten are able to enter into SEC territory and have camps, then Alabama and Georgia and the teams in the Southeast would like to be able to do the same, say in Texas or in California or elsewhere, wherever they decide to try to recruit. But I don't think it really would benefit them all that much. The thing that the SEC has going for them at this point, Dan, is the ability to have recruits in on unofficial visits because of the amount and the density of the population when it comes to talented players in this area. So if you look at teams in the Southeast, there are so many players from Alabama and Mississippi and Louisiana and Florida, and they can drive to all these schools. Now, when you have a team like Nebraska, you're relatively isolated, and it's difficult to get to, or Iowa, or a place in the upper Pacific Northwest. It might be more difficult to get to on the recruit's dime. So it's very, very hard for those teams to be able to have guys out on a regular basis, so they need to go to them. That's why it hasn't necessarily always been compelling for the SEC to go on the road. They have so many recruits in their own backyard that they don't have to pick up shop and go elsewhere.
All right, no names here, but the wildest recruiting story you can tell me about.
The loudest recruiting story?
Wildest.
Oh, the wildest recruiting story. Yeah. I'll tell you the truth, Dan, I wasn't really a highly recruited player. So my recruiting experiences, and I'll actually tell you one that is pretty funny. I took an unofficial visit to a school in the Southeastern Conference for a game as a junior in high school. And when I got on campus, this particular coach that was recruiting me called me by the wrong name. That is the God's honest truth. And it was, I honestly was a little bit humbled, to say the least. Also, on the same recruiting trip, I wasn't as tall as I was now, so I actually had lifts in my shoes. So maybe I wasn't necessarily being 100% honest either.
Wow.
But yeah, it happens. Hey, you got to play the game sometimes, Dan. But yeah, didn't know my name.
This just in, Greg McElroy, performance-enhancing shoes. All right, final question, and it's the important one. Who is a better quarterback right now, you or Kirk Herbstreit?
Right now?
Right now.
Oh, man, Herbstreit's in much better physical condition than I am. I've let myself go. I can assure you, I have not been.
You didn't have that much to let go, did you?
No, very little. That's why it is beyond embarrassing right now. Honestly, Dan, if you catch a picture of me with my shirt off in the near future, then it got. I mean, it's unlikely that you're going to catch me shirt off right now. I have completely given up any hope of being an athlete. I am strictly a golfer.
Now you don't have a tattoo breastplate like McCarron does.
I do not. No, I do not. I'm very, very. I just don't think a tattoo would look good on me. I would if I did anything, maybe a barbed wire around the bicep or something.
No, don't do that.
No, don't think so.
No, and we were talking about the two kind of quarterbacks that you have in the NFL. You're either a nerd or you're a bro. So
Really?
Yeah, like Andrew Luck is nerd, right?
I think Andrew is as cool as they come.
No, it's
but
a good
I'm a
thing.
nerd too. So
Yeah. No, it's a good thing to be a nerd.
I guess, yeah.
Cutler, bro.
Huh. I've never really given it that much thought. I don't know Jay as well.
Matthew Stafford, bro. Hat on backwards.
So, so let me ask. So, what is a nerd or bro? I don't get that one. I'm trying to think.
McCarron's a bro.
What about Tannehill?
Tannehill, I'm going to guess by his wife, he's a bro.
That's what you're going off of?
Yeah. Like Aaron Rodgers is a little bit nerdy, but he's so good that he's got to be a little bit bro.
God, he's good.
Philip
How
Rivers,
good? He is so good.
But when you watch, by the way, stay with the topic here.
Sorry.
But when you watch Aaron Rodgers,
yes.
what does he do that is so different than anybody else? As a quarterback looking at a quarterback.
He is so athletic, and his release is so lightning quick. The ball jumps out of his hand like there's gunpowder on it. I mean, it really comes out. And I think the way he adjusts his body, he goes airborne when he throws the ball on occasion. He has such tremendous body control, and he's pinpoint accurate. I mean, he's so much fun to watch. I can't even get over how big of an Aaron Rodgers fan I am. I haven't bought a jersey in years, but I'm telling you, if he's able to put together an incredible year with the loss of Jordy Nelson and in the injury right now if to Randall Cobb has the shoulder, and tell you the truth, I haven't paid much attention to the preseason, but I know that's concerning, and because I chose Randall Cobb in the second round of my fantasy draft. But I just hope that things work out for the Packers this year. I think with Aaron Rodgers, though, anything's possible. They can put together a Super Bowl run with very little help on the outside.
Have fun this weekend. We'll be watching. Good luck.
Dan, it is always a pleasure. Tell McLovin I say hey and to rock the jersey occasionally, will you?
McLovin, you haven't worn the McElroy jersey in a long time.
That's because you made me wear it without pants, Dan.
Yeah.
And as Greg pointed out, he's not a big guy. There wasn't a lot for imagination. No, I don't mean like the not pants part. I meant the jersey.
Yeah. No, we know what you meant. Greg, good luck this weekend, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Always fun.
That's Greg McElroy, SEC Network.